called the Pt.5, which instead of a rocket box used a death row convict strapped to the kite armed with rockets and bombs. The convict's job was to fly into enemy territory on the kite and manually launch the rockets and bombs in a kamikaze mission. At least these inmates got to go out with a bang. The Claw of Archimedes. It's the tail end of the 3rd century BCE, and the Second Punic War between Rome and Carthage is causing chaos and collateral damage throughout the Mediterranean. Caught in the middle of this war was one of history's greatest minds in mathematics and engineering, Archimedes, who was living in Syracuse, a city on the island of Sicily. Sicily was a highly valued strategic position for both the Romans and Carthaginians, which made it a prime target for both armies. So in 214 BCE, the Romans arrive at Syracuse and begin a siege. The people of the city turn to Archimedes to come up with a plan, a weapon, anything that could help stop the Romans from invading their city. So, like an old-timey Oppenheimer, Archimedes put his big brain to work and came up with one of the nerdiest weapons of ancient history, the Claw of Archimedes. The Archimedes claw was essentially a giant crane that was mounted onto the city walls. Attached to the crane was a giant hook or claw that was large enough to snag onto Roman ships. When the Romans sailed too close to the wall, the crane's claw would be dropped onto the ship, hoping to hook something on board. Once the claw was secured, the crane would lift the ship into the air, tossing its crew into the water. The ship would then be released, and with luck, it would capsize or be destroyed from the impact and sink to the ocean floor. Archimedes also reportedly created a solar death ray out of mirrors, which focused the sun's energy onto the wooden Roman boats and set them on fire. The Romans became frustrated by the effectiveness of Archimedes' inventions, and orders were sent from top commanders to find and capture him alive once they were in the city. A brilliant mind like Archimedes designing weapons for the Romans was a dream for these generals. Unfortunately for everyone, the Roman soldiers didn't really know what Archimedes looked like. When they finally entered the city, one of the soldiers found an old man studying in his room. The old man rudely told the soldier to get out of his house, and the soldier, annoyed by the disrespect, responded by killing him on the spot. Oops, turns out that old man was Archimedes, and the Roman general in command of the siege was not very happy that happened.